everybody, Nancy Harner with the Jim Allen Group. And today I am getting real with Harry Thorpe, Realtor Extraordinaire. Ooh, thank you, Harry.
Thank you for having me.
For being here. The first question I really want to ask you is, where did you grow up? Where are you from, and how long have you lived in this area?
Ooh, that's quite the question. Well, I was born in South Carolina, Beaufort, South Carolina.
Beaufort, okay.
Both of my parents were Marines, and I was born at Beaufort Naval Hospital.
Okay.
Grew up in the military. And then I was in the military, also the Marine Corps.
Yes.
So growing up, we moved all the time.
Okay.
And I always loved the South, and we kept coming back to the South. But my last duty station was Cherry Point, North Carolina, and used to come into Raleigh all the time. So when I left the Marine Corps, I decided to move to Raleigh, and have loved it ever since.
Great,
yeah.
Great, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am curious how you got into this crazy real estate
Real
business.
estate,
Real estate,
yes.
How did you get, and where did you start?
Well, again, I left the Marine Corps and moved to Raleigh, and really didn't know what I wanted to get into next, my next part of life. So I met a gentleman that was starting a business of real estate advertising. Okay. So they were going to do kind of like the weekend home shows where they would tour a house.
Right.
But this was back in the beginning. This was a few years ago. So we would take pictures of a listing and then do a voiceover, this beautiful 3-bedroom house. Okay. And I was the only salesman.
Oh.
So I went around to different real estate offices, met with the broker in charge, and was trying to explain this new concept in advertising and try and get in front of as many agents, brokers in charge as possible. So that lasted for not quite a year. We were making enough to keep the company going, but we really weren't making anything.
Right.
And I came to the realization that all these real estate agents I met, if they were making money at this, it couldn't be too hard. So one of the last sales calls I made was a lady named Ann Davis, 4 home buyers. They only worked with buyers. And at the end of my little presentation, she said, well, we really don't have the money for your type of advertising, but have you ever thought about getting into real estate? And I said, well, yes, I have. And she says, well, let me give you a proposition here. I'm looking to hire somebody to work with our agents as like their assistant for the whole office. And while you're doing that, you can learn real estate.
Great.
So that was my start in real estate. I went to class at night to get my license, which was a lot easier back then.
Right.
And ended up being her #1 agent the first year. And then moved on and met the famous Jim Allen.
Oh, yes, the famous Jim Allen.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Yes.
Well, now that segues perfectly into my next question. Who has been an influence in your career or life?
Yeah, well, considering now about half of my life has been real estate, you know, I can easily say Jim Allen, and that's not, you know, trying to blow smoke or anything. But when I met Jim, it was just basically Jim and his mom, Boots.
Right.
And you could already tell, you know, Jim was coming up.
Yep.
He was going to make things happen. He was already one of the top agents at Prudential, where we originally started. Okay. And he said, you know, let's do lunch.
Right.
We'd already done a couple deals. I had the buyer, he had the listing. And I met with him for lunch, with him and his then manager, Kathy Thompson.
Right.
And next thing you know, he said, come work with me. I've got plenty of business. And I said, I think that's my next step.
Yeah. And never looked back.
And never looked back, and still with him.
That's great.
My brother, Jim Allen.
My brother, Jim Allen. I love it.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah.
Now, if you could if you were doing something else, if you had not chosen real estate, what do you think you'd be doing now?
Well, I'd love to say a professional athlete.
Absolutely.
But talent might limit me there. You know, I still love many sports and play quite a few, but not a professional in any of them.
Yes.
But I think sales of one type or another has always been my forte.
I think, yes, because people gravitate towards you anyway. So I think that makes perfect sense.
Well, I like dealing with people.
Yeah, you're
you know,
good at
professionally, socially, anything. I just not known as a shy person. Yeah, it's really helped me with my, my career and socially also.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about travel? Where's your favorite place to go?
Well, my favorite place, I have been there. I was actually there for 5 years. While I was in the Marine Corps, I was stationed in Hawaii. And it was incredible. A place I'd always wanted to go as a young man. And when I had the opportunity, when I re-enlisted, I took that opportunity and went to Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, which is on Oahu, Waikiki.
Okay.
And I ended up being there for 3 years. Then I extended for a year. Then I re-enlisted for a year. So, I mean, I was going to stay there as long as possible. But it was everything I thought it would be. Beach year-round and just, I'm always going to be more of a beach person than mountains or anything like that.
You're either beach.
I would rather it be 100 degrees than 20 degrees.
That's right.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But I still love the chance to go on cruises, go down to the Caribbean around here, just go someplace warm and just relax.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Harry. I loved talking to you, of course. Everybody stay tuned for the next episode of Getting Real with Realtors. This is Nancy Harner with the Jim Allen Group. Thanks a bunch.
Yes.